United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to accept the minutes of the July 8th regular town board meeting.
Make that motion.
Charlie, and a second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor report for the month of July 2013. The general aid fund had a beginning balance of $30,975.14. Total received was $60,922.92. Total dispersed was $38,932.91, leaving an ending balance $52,965.15. Savings for the general aid presently at $414,542.52. General B had a beginning balance of $7,101.36. Total received was $800.41. The total dispersed was $4,104.56, leaving an ending balance $3,797.21. And the savings for the General B is presently at $69,198.92. The Highway DB had a beginning balance of $39,473.35. Total received was $127,148.03. Total dispersed was $149,617.05, leaving an ending balance of $17,004.33. Savings for the Highway DB is at $329.92. Highway DA had a beginning balance of $23,616. Total received $2.42. Total dispersed $15,689.50, and ending balance of $7,928.92. Savings for the Highway DA is presently at $602,970.22. Youngsville Water District beginning balance $835.99. Total received $1,946.69. Total dispersed $1,773.19. Leaving an ending balance of $1,009.49. Savings for the Youngsville Water, $26,396.75. Motion to accept supervisor report.
Motion.
Howard, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Janet, town clerk and code enforcement report, please.
Okay, I paid $1,342.10 to the supervisor. I paid $206.90 to the DEC for decals, $6 to the New York State Animal Population Control, $45 to New York State Health Department. The total of $1,600. And I received $895 from the code enforcement officer.
Thanks, Janet. Motion to accept town clerk code enforcement officer report.
Motion.
Scott, second.
Second.
Howard?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Janet, would you order the bills?
General aid fund vouchers number 218 to 239, $8,008.69. Another bill from Quill for $215.65. Verizon $493.43. NYSEC $22.88, and Derek Hahn $104.25. General B vouchers number 2729, $998.70. Highway DA vouchers 82 to 84, $5,274.69. Another bill from SEI for $501.80. Highway DB vouchers 19 to 24, $22,806.68. Water District vouchers number 26 to 27, $295.63, and another bill from Klein and Sons for $200. Youth Program vouchers number 4 and 5, $834.37.
Motion to pay the bills,
Make that motion.
and a second.
Second.
Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
July payroll check number 21293 to number 21309, and the direct deposits amount of $35,196.54. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Scott, first. Second, Howard.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. July trust and agency checks number 4913 to number 4921, any electronic transfers in the amount of $75,326.77. Need a motion?
Motion.
Dave, and second. Howard?
Charlie. Throw my voice like that.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Chris, our highway superintendent report, please.
We had some isolated damage from some of the strong storms that moved through last week, mostly on Friday afternoon, so a lot of it was Old Danza Road and a couple other places in Youngsville and East Hill, but nothing too terrible, not a lot of blacktop damage, but a lot of trees and sticks in the pipes, that's what does it. So anyway, but we did get Huber Road, we did about 1.7 miles on Huber Road, so we just gotta seal that, we're done with the paving, we're just gonna seal that and patch things up, and that'll be it for the year for that. So we're working on changing culvert pipes for next year's paving.
Okay. Any questions for Chris?
No.
Thanks, Chris. Kevin, code enforcement?
Well, we're pretty busy, writing quite a few permits, a couple logging permits. Expect to start a new house within the next 30 days. Things are going all right.
How many houses you got this year, Kevin?
3, I believe.
Greg?
Nothing more except we're gonna talk about the water, building.
Okay,
The water district,
yeah, we got that on the agenda, okay, thanks for that. I guess the junkyard, still on the court.
That's coming up in court on the 20th.
20.
See what happens.
Anything else for code enforcement? Okay, thank you, guys. This time we'll open it up to public comment for any of the items that are listed on our agenda. At this time, if there's anything there, if not, we'll move into those business items. Yes.
Mr. Bells, I'd just like to have a short history of what has been done with gaming at this town meeting level in the past.
What has been done with what? I'm sorry, ma'am.
We have a resolution, number 5 is a resolution to support gaming in the state of New York.
Okay, good question.
I just would like to know what's been done at the town level prior to now.
Officially, I don't believe anything. This was a resolution that was sent to us by county legislature. They appeared, we had a supervisors association meeting this past Wednesday, and the chairman of the county legislature came to the supervisor asking for support of the resolution, basically supporting. We all know or should know that it's on a referendum for this November. And again, it's a resolution to support it. So we just received it. Actually, I think you got it on the website on Friday. We had a little trouble with the internet, but it was posted. I don't believe there's any action to be taken on it, but it's on there for consideration. And but I don't believe, to answer your question, anything officially has been done before. Anything else? Okay. If no other questions on the agenda, then it's my pleasure to introduce to you a friend of mine. Was Mark, where are you again? Mark was associated with the Partnership for Economic Development. He had opened and ran his own economic consulting firm for the last several years, and he was just appointed again as chairman or CEO
Yeah.
of the Sullivan County Partnership for Economic Development. Had the pleasure to know Mark for the last 4 or 5 years. Man is full of energy, I'll tell you that. He's got lots of ideas, and in an ongoing effort to help support our local businesses and main streets, I invited him here, the board has invited Mark, to basically tell you a little bit about himself, what the partnership can do for us. I'm glad the mayor of Jeffersonville, Bill Toney's in attendance. Thanks, Bill. I had lunch with Bill the other day. We talked about this briefly, and I invited him here. So it may be something we can work towards with a forum or seminar or something in the future. But Mark, pleasure to have you here. Thanks, and your floor.
Thank you. Yes, I've got a chance to work with the supervisor on a number of different projects here ag-related mostly, but we were able to help a few folks out in the area, so that was good. So my background, I was born and raised in Liberty, New York, still there. So I'm Sullivan County through and through, it's in my blood. And I certainly know all the issues associated with Sullivan County and the hotel industry and all the different nuances on our main streets and all these other things. I'm not gonna bore you with programmatic stuff. I'm sure you've heard it before. I ran the partnership for 10 years or so. I left and they kind of sucked me back in. So here I am again, and we're hoping to get things sparked up a little bit again and going. Obviously, you've been hearing about this whole gaming issue, and that's the #1 thing that's been on everyone's mind. And this referendum is certainly something that's been talked about through and through. I will tell you from an economic development point of view, it's something that the partnership supports. We've supported it in the past, and continue to support that in the future. And not so much the gaming issue per se. We're not about gaming, and personally, I really don't have any interest in casinos and that sort of thing. What my interest is here, and I think that I can speak for the organization, is the development, the jobs, all of the other ancillary stuff that comes with that particular activity. It's a gateway for that other development to take place in Sullivan County. So the referendum is important in our point of view, because it allows EPR to move forward and some of these other folks. And if you recall the last time when Governor Pataki was here and he did this big song and dance and they signed the 5 casino bill and all these other things, there was a lot of speculation afterwards and people buying land and planning on housing development and all this other stuff. Much of it didn't materialize because they were waiting for it to happen, so to speak. But they were here and they were buying land, and so there was a lot of exchange and a quick velocity of money, if you will. That's the term we use. A lot of things going on, and then you kind of hit the brakes because nothing really went through. This time it's a step further. So here we go again, right? We're talking about this same issue. There's going to be a rally Wednesday at the Sullivan Hotel to basically educate people about what it is, what this means, where the money is going. Is that 80% going to education, really, or is it not? We know that it is, in addition to what's going to education now. What happens to the other 20% of the money? Well, 10% stays local. It goes to wherever the facility is going to be located. And then the other 10% gets spread out throughout the rest of our region. So Orange, Ulster, Dutchess, and some of the other counties in the region get a little piece of that action as well. So in a sense, it benefits those regions that are going to be affected. So for us, it's important. There is a chance that we don't get any. And there's a chance that we may have 2 here in Sullivan County. And my guess is if things go through, we're certainly going to get 1. Because we've been talking about this issue for too long. And that's that. That's going to happen. It's very important. I think everyone should stop by, check it out, see what it's about, get educated. There's going to be a voter registration there. I think there's going to be people talking about in specific detail what the legislation is, what it means, and how it affects everyone in the process by which a casino is going to be approved in whatever area it's going to be approved. And that's important so that you have specific information about that issue, and you can make up your mind well beforehand in terms of whether you're going to vote yes or no for the referendum. Hopefully yes. And that at least you'll base your decision on something that's educated and not hearsay and stuff that's being tossed around in the community.
When is that again, Mark? Just so it would be Wednesday?
Next Wednesday at 6.
Next Wednesday.
Or this Wednesday, I'm sorry, at the Sullivan. And it starts at 6 o'clock. I think they're going to be going for a couple hours. There'll be different booths, informational booths, and voter registration booths and that sort of thing. So to me, if you're for gaming, great. That's certainly something that's going to be helpful. But even if you're not for gaming, this is about the state of New York and about money leaking out to Pennsylvania, leaking out to now Massachusetts and other states. And the whole idea is to keep that money in Sullivan County and in the state of New York. So right now, I liken it to being part of an all-star team. Everybody's playing, everybody's on the same team, and we're all pushing in the same direction. And then come November, if the vote goes through, we basically tell some of the other counties, sayonara, now we want the casino here, and we're gonna be battling each other for that particular investment. You all heard the numbers, 2,000 to 3,000 jobs and that sort of thing, and the economic impact and the payroll. The payroll is where I really like to focus our economic development effort. We need that payroll here. That payroll is what helps small businesses and main streets in Sullivan County. They're the ones that buy subs and pizza and gas and trinkets and all the different things that they need on a daily basis. And we like in economic development projects, to very simple terms. You need a critical mass employer next to your main street or in close proximity to be able to affect the storefronts down there. And so, if you take what I know, Village of Liberty, for instance, who had the Browns and Stevensville, and they had Grossinger. So they had 3 major hotels. So all those people that worked there obviously supported that little main street. Then they're gone. What do you do now? Fortunately, there's Ideal Snacks is there now, which doesn't cut the mustard in terms of the impact that those 3 facilities did. But they're kind of holding the line right now. And there's some activity down on Main Street. Some of the stores are less, closed in other areas, but there's certainly some activity that's going on in downtown Liberty. And I look at it and I say, well, a lot of that has to do with the folks that are employed there. There's 450 employees over there that need stuff, right? So, in a sense, it helps support the downtown stores. There's actually some new ones that are going in. Still a big problem. Movie theater still sitting there with boarded fronts and all these other things that need to be done there, like any other Main Street here in Sullivan County that is going through similar problems. But certainly, that employer, we need more of those. Personally, I don't have a preference as to what that is, as long as they're gonna be paying people a reasonable salary, and those people are gonna be going and buying goods and services from our local communities. It's a tough sell. We're competing with New Jersey, we're competing with Pennsylvania on a daily basis. We're competing with other states in Canada, as well as other counties in our region and across the state. So you hear these things tossed about. Why am I not getting an incentive? Why is so-and-so getting an incentive? Why are they getting tax breaks and we're not? Well, we're competing. Generally, we're talking about sites that aren't paying taxes right now. And so when we give that incentive, we're competing with another area that's given another incentive. And so the incentive portion of it is just something that you have to do in order to be in the game to compete with other specific areas. In reality, employers are interested in people that are gonna show up for work and give them an honest day's work so that they can be productive and they can make a profit. That's why they're in business. So in a sense, that's the most important factor. The incentive issue is something that is certainly critical as well, but it's really critical in terms of how we compete with other areas. And in terms of the small business effort, partnership is there with a whole bunch of loans and 2% loans. And the IDA has 2% loans, and everyone has a micro loan program, and it's there. Frankly, I look at 2% and I say, they're giving the money away, because the 2% doesn't cover the administrative costs. So it's a good deal in terms of, being something that's attractive. Some folks don't want to get into the borrowing because they're tapped, and it's a tough deal. It hurts, they can't make that decision, or they can't. Our phone is at the ready, 794-1110, and we'll listen to anybody with any idea, whether it be a small business with 1 person or 2 people working there, or a large corporation. That's what we do. You'll hear some ads in the fall. We're gonna dial it up and really put the foot on the gas, if you will, in terms of small business efforts. I talked to Legislator Geiger about doing a forum out here. And not one of these economic summits where it's just gonna be a bunch of ideas around a room. We're gonna bring actual people that make the decisions on loans. We're gonna bring the actual loan packages, someone that explains it to you, so that there's more information, at least in this part of the county, which often gets overlooked. In terms of those types of things, and everyone expects everyone to get in the car and go to Rock Hill or wherever they're doing this sort of thing. We're gonna bring it out here, a little road show, and we'll be doing that in the fall, so that those folks that are interested in some type of assistance or some type of help, or someone who just wants to start a new business is able to do that, at least get educated on the process and how that works. That's kind of a brief overview. You'll see a lot more activity in terms of press releases and different things that the partnership's doing. We're gonna open up our meetings again and bring those around the county. It's been closed for a while, as far as I understand, since I had left. We're gonna open that back up. So we'll do a meeting out here, just a general board meeting of the partnership. There'll be time for the public to speak and to weigh in on some of the things that we're doing and to ask questions and that sort of thing. We'll circulate that on a 6-month rotation so that everyone is well informed of the business activity that we do on a daily basis. So now I'm here to answer any questions anybody might have in terms of whatever topic you have relative to economic development. And that's basically it.
Well, I appreciate that, Mark. We'll have some questions here, and you're certainly welcome to use our hall for your meetings, as long as we schedule it with the clerk's office any time. I would guess an evening meeting, probably.
Yeah, probably something around 6-ish, 7-ish.
Okay, because we'd like to be able to post it and get our businesses here.
Yeah, businesses are working and
Yeah.
we don't want to interfere with the, your business activity. Okay. Yes, sir.
In your estimation, are there not other economic activities than gaming that could bring 2,000 to 3,000 jobs to Southern?
Absolutely. Now, are we in the game for that, so to speak? We're working on that. We're lacking sites. We're lacking shovel-ready sites. We're lacking sites that are ready to build now.
What kinds of activities?
What tends to work here right now? Obviously, food processing is working in different areas of the county. It works for a whole variety of different reasons. Cost being most of that. Distribution seems to work well. So on a smaller scale, 20,000, 30,000. Metal fab manufacturing seems to work well. DC welding, ASA precision, those types of things. Pay better. I like those projects where people are actually making a widget, whatever they're making, and they're actually paying somebody 15, 20 bucks an hour to actually make something. That really works well for me. The competition is stiff, and so the development timeline, if you will, that used to take 12 months, 24 months, was acceptable to anyone in the nation. Now it's not. Now they're looking to get in 4 months. So if you don't have your approvals in place and everything done and your infrastructure in place, you're gonna be hard pressed to be able to do that in 4 months. So the effort now is to take the existing sites that we have, not seek anything new, because we just don't have time to do that. We have Emerald Corporate Center, we have the Glen Wild Industrial Park, we have the Liberty Industrial Park, and some other ones. We're gonna take those and try to get them more ready, if you will. Sullivan County Airport is going through a process of actually getting water finally, after all these years, so there'll be water infrastructure there and that sort of thing. I mean, they've been there for 30 years, they haven't had water. Well, if you don't have water, I mean, how can you attract the business there without water? Not every business can do a septic and a well. And so we've been limited to what it is that we can attract here because we don't have the natural infrastructure resources that would be able to offer to some company coming in, like Orange does and some of the other areas in the Hudson Valley. We're gonna try and make that a little bit better, make ourselves a little bit more competitive, work on zoning, work on different incentive programs. Now, the college's new program that's gonna be located there, the Restore New York program, very similar to the Empire Zone program, 10 years tax-free in terms of the property taxes, the state taxes, 10 years tax-free income tax, state income tax for those employees that work there. That's a big deal. The question is where we put them. I actually have a meeting with the college president on Tuesday to kind of scout out where we put this site. Fortunately, our college has 400 plus acres. That's great. Other community colleges don't have that. So we're fortunate to be able to have that. The question then becomes, get the approvals in place, get all the hard work done, the engineering and all the administrative and the soft costs, if you will, completed, so that we're ready for someone that's coming through the door. And we can actually be more proactive and go solicit specific NAICS codes, SIC codes, if you will, of certain types of industries that we think will fit here based on skill set of our employees, what's here, number of all the different things that we use to be able to attract folks here. And that's kind of the way this game is played. It's a reason why Orange, you hear a lot about Orange. They're ready to go. For example, they had a consultant come in, a site selection consultant not long ago, who came in and said to them point blank, I know you've done really well and things look like they're doing okay in Orange, but Pennsylvania is kicking your butt. Basically what the guy told them. You're not even close. You're not even in the game. So Orange, the folks at Orange said, wait a minute. Really? We've been doing this, we've been doing that, we have shovel-ready sites, we have all these things ready on Neelytown Road and some of these other areas. And basically, our consultant said Pennsylvania is ready. They got sites that are ready, they're already done, they've done the investment, communities have taken a risk, put some money down and built up certain sites for attraction in their areas. And so now, they're in a position, it costs money and it costs resources, obviously, especially during a down economic time, it's tight. But they've done that investment, and they've taken that gamble, that risk. Said, all right, we're ready for business here. And they're in a position now, so that when there's some inquiries coming from wherever, they can respond and say, we're ready, come to our business park, come to Sterling Business Park, come here, we're ready to go, we have a lot. We've already positioned where the building's gonna go, this is where sewer is, this is where water, it's ready. So it makes the decision for that corporate entity or that business person a lot easier. I'm of the position that I'm really not afraid of what business comes through the door. I'm here to see if it fits. Now, there are those that'll say, well, we're only good for certain types of industries. I don't know that. I mean, many, many years ago, someone told me that there's no way in heck that a Kohl's distribution center would ever come to Sullivan County because we're too rural and we're too far. Well, it's sitting there and it's doing its duty. It's one of the most productive distribution centers in their fleet. So things are possible if we kind of put our heads together and work really hard and do what we have to do. I'm not saying that we'd bring one this far out, but there's certain things that do fit here. I mean, I go to ASA, every time I'm there, I'm like, this is a neat place. There's computerized CNC machines, there's people building stuff. It's a neat business. We ought to be able to pocket those, around Sullivan County, where they fit, where it makes sense.
That's far as out, you don't even know they're there.
And you don't even know they're there. And I brought clients there that, referrals, and I drive up, and they're coming, and they're, well, when are we gonna get there? Well, it'll be 5 minutes. When are we gonna get there? And finally, I drove up the hill, and they see this building, and they go in, and they go, holy, look at this. This is amazing. I can't believe that this is taking place here. So, and there's a lot of those around Sullivan County that people aren't aware of. And they're doing their business, and they're doing their grind, and they're doing what they have to do. We just have to be better at being able to fit those people in to the areas that we want them to fit in. Because they're the workers and the employees are the ones that are gonna be able to support those small businesses that need so much support in our main streets.
Mark, does the partnership do assisting loans?
We do. We have 2 loans. We have one that's called a Sullivan Investment Loan, and we have, the other loan is the Incubator Without Walls. Frankly, I don't care what they're called. They're 2% loans. Like I said, 2%. I'm giving you the money, really, because it costs more for my assistant to service that loan, get the checks, do the mailings, do the reporting on a monthly basis, and other than some closing costs, we go up to $50,000 on the loans. So we've done quite a bit of those. I think we have $1 million in total, and I think 600 and something thousand or so are on the street right now. We've had some mostly success stories. There's been some that haven't really worked out, but that's the gamble you take. This is economic development. We're not a bank. We don't need to meet that standard. We're certainly gonna underwrite it and look at doing the best we can, but we're gonna try and help those people that may just not be totally bankable. We work with banks. If a bank has someone that comes in and says, hey, I want a loan, and the bank goes, I can't do it, I'll do half of it, we'll come in and we'll do the other half to make it whole. And we can do that sort of thing. Or we can use other programs. The IDA has several loan funds. They have their base loan fund, they have an RMAPS loan fund I wrote a grant for a couple of years ago, basically geared towards this part of the county, same 2% loan. Their FICO requirements are reasonable. I mean, I think it's 550 is what they're looking at, which is really breathing. I mean, basically you have to breathe in order to apply for the loan. So they make it really attractive for people to try and get assistance. We can handle all of this through our partnership offices. So if someone comes to me and says, this is the project that we have, can you help me? We'll go through and we'll look at what loan fits, how we can put the thing together, can we work with a local bank to do it, who do we need to kind of do this? And we'll do soup to nuts. We'll site select for you, we'll find a place for you, we'll get you the financing, and ultimately, if you need approvals in the townships, we'll be there to hold a hand and say, hey, we'll help you get this approval to get through the system. So,
Mark, one of the things you and I spoke about is what we've heard over and over again, and we had the joint meeting with the village, and Alan Scott from IDA was here, and I think some of the business owners that were here that night were disappointed. I don't think they truly knew what the IDA could do for them, but I think a lot of them went away disappointed because it was geared more towards larger business. So you and I have spoke about our small businesses on the main street, and not just Jeffersonville, but the other hamlets.
Right.
But what we spoke about is, and what I hear from most people, we don't need another loan, but we need some sort of assistance. And you and I talked about possibly helping them, like marketing assistance through social media, which you were pretty big on.
Right.
And those are some things that if you have your meeting out here, and we'll certainly invite these businesses here and come, or as we put your number out there, they can call you and discuss that at greater length.
And what we had discussed was a consultative situation. We're gonna consult with that business. What are you doing? Are you still doing the same things that you were doing for 20 years? Are you still taking that little ad out in the local shopper that you've been taking out for 20 years? Well, times have changed. You better start using social media more. It's cheap. You can reach a lot more people for a lot less money. And you better start providing more unique type products. And there should be some type of institutional basis to what you're doing in your business. I'll give you an example. We had a shoe store who wanted to go into business, and the numbers didn't really work out very well because it just wouldn't work out with the number of people that are here to support that shoe store. People are buying shoes from Amazon and from all sorts of things online. You're gonna deliver to their house. Who's gonna go to this store? So the banks really didn't want to do this loan, and two women came to me and said, "Can you help us out? Let me look at what you got." We went over there, and well, I don't think you're going to do too well because people aren't going to come in. However, you ought to do something different, and that is institutional sales. So what's institutional sales? Well, nurses need shoes. Police officers need shoes. People that work construction need shoes. So they start, the bell went off in their head. I said, you market to those folks directly, and you provide that steel-toe Georgia boot. Someone's gonna come in here and buy that boot. You market to the Center for Discovery, who has, hundreds of kids that need special shoes, I'm sure, or folks that need that type of, equipment. Stand around and assist the folks that are staying there and getting health care there. New Hope. Some of these other places, you reach out to them and do a mailing or something and get back to me and see how that works out. Well, I get a call 30 days later. This is great. I gave all the COs a break on their shoes, and they all get 10% off, and they've been flooding the store, and I got a whole Georgia boot display, and I got some of these other things. The more you specialize, now you're providing a unique product. We call it a value proposition. Why should I go in the store? What's gonna draw me in your store? Well, sell me something that I want, or tell me something that I can't get somewhere else, or that touches me, whether it's a discount or what have you. Make it easy for me to go into your store. And they did that, and they're still there, and they're doing okay. And God bless them, and hopefully they'll continue to be successful moving on. But that's just a little example of how we analyze that business and go, wait a minute, you might think of doing something different because times are different. So you gotta switch gears a little bit. And so that's what I mean about analyzing that business and then making some suggestions to them that may be able to help them in some way without giving them a loan necessarily, or without, trying to extract some kind of, fee from them for doing certain work and this, that. We give them some good ideas, and the good ones take them and run with them. Some of them don't listen, and we do the best we can. Certainly, we're there to do that. So who am I? Why should they take advice from me, right? Well, I've been doing this for quite a while, 25 years or so. So I've seen every type of business practically that make every type of widget or sell every type of good in different fashions. So we've gone through this time and time again. So we're pulling ideas from experience mostly, and we bring in and we say, hey, listen, you might want to try this a little bit differently. That's kind of what we do. So to address your question, we're not just going to sit here and talk to you about, we got a loan, come fill it out. We'll analyze that business. We'll take the time to sit with you and see if that's something that we can help in one way or the other.
Mark, I really appreciate you coming. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
Enough? You had enough of me?
Yeah.
So don't forget, Wednesday, Sullivan, 6 o'clock.
Okay, Mark.
Sure.
One last question. You were just talking about the different people that come to you. Do you ever look at a community and then say, okay, this is what Jeffersonville or Youngsville, this is what these people are in need of? Somebody like you who has an overview and not necessarily people who live here, because we're all at a local level. We may have a different perspective than you.
We've done that at times. We usually wait for a request. It's a little touchy when you go into a community and try to tell people how to run their business and how to do things. So we usually wait for something like this where there's an ask, and then we'll look at different areas. Say you came to me and said, hey, we might want to attract a little bit more commercial industrial stuff to offset our tax base. Where could we do that? Then I would do an analysis of the community and say, well, this would probably be a good location for this, given your zoning, given that, and come back and suggest certain industries or certain businesses that might work there. And we do that often. It's not something that's foreign to us by any nature, by any stretch. So that's kind of, sure.
when you're done.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. Are, if not through you, are grants ever available? And
There are,
Through
through the county. County planning has Main Street microloans, and sometimes they have matching grants. They'll write what's called a consolidated funding application to the state. There's a round every year for specific purposes. I think the general discussion, and I'm not gonna pinpoint it, whether they're gonna go ahead with it or not, but I think they're leaning towards doing a bigger grant to address small businesses in particular in the coming years, where part of the grant will be a loan and the other part will be grant associated. And that's fine, that happens all the time. But then again, you know, I always say to people, listen, I can give you $10,000 right now, everybody on Main Street, and I can cut your taxes for a year. And it might help you in the short term, but in the long term, if you don't have anybody going to the
Right,
store,
of course.
you're not gonna survive. So our efforts are generally best suited to try and change the overall economic activity, as opposed to doing a lot of the grant work that often gets talked about. And we're not opposed to it, and we certainly get involved and we do what we can with it, but, there's a lot of clawbacks with that, and there's issues with the grants, so.
Okay, we got a number of other things on
Great.
there. I really appreciate it. I'll reach out with you and like to set up like a workshop with our board and your board
Absolutely.
and invite our businesses too again.
That'd be great. And if
Okay,
you do have someone that you need to send my way, please do, 794-1110. We're open for anybody that needs any assistance we can possibly provide.
you didn't say like us on Facebook.
You
right?
book back there, so. Say again?
You didn't say like us on Facebook, I'm glad.
Absolutely.
Mark, thank you again. Appreciate you coming. All right, next on our agenda is our town park. Last month, we talked, and I think we all had agreed on setting a price on the equipment we purchased for the kitchen area, the pavilion. I'd like to thank Charlie and Howard for taking the time to go up there and research that equipment. It was purchased, it was delivered, and now we just need to do a little bit of work at the site to install. We have to do some stuff on the walls, and so I'm actually requesting some proposals for that work. And, but it was all delivered, it was underneath the cap that we'd set. I believe it cost $4,150 delivered, and that'll give us a nice completion of our kitchen area. So again, it's open for use by our residents and non-residents alike. So that was delivered. The other thing as far as the town park, it was brought to our attention that there is a town law, I believe that authorizes us as a town to issue permits or licenses to different people and to use our facilities, whether it be here at the town hall or at the town park. So Marvin researched it for us a little bit, and what it does is allows us to set the guidelines, which we have done. We've come up with a set of guidelines for the use of our facilities, but what the town law tells us we have to do is have a public hearing before we can actually put those policies in place. So I'd like to ask the board if at this time we set a public hearing for next month, the September meeting at 7:15. So it would be just prior to the actual board meeting. And I just need a motion to do that.
Motion.
From Howard, a second.
Second.
From Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so 7:15 for our September 9th meeting. And again, a public hearing on the guidelines for using town facilities. Next on our agenda, we recently lost a dear friend of the town as well as a past employee, Doris Court, passed away several weeks ago. And I would like to read to you a resolution in memoriam of Doris Court. Whereas Almighty God in His wisdom has seen fit to call from our midst one of our public officials, Doris A. Court of Callicoon Center in the town of Callicoon. And whereas Doris served the people of the town of Callicoon faithfully as the assessor's clerk from 1976 to 1981, and as the supervisor's clerk in 1981. And whereas Doris was held in high esteem and deep affection by those with whom she came in contact during her residence in the town of Callicoon. Whereas Doris served her fellow men effectively and courteously and will long be remembered by the people of the town of Callicoon. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Callicoon does hereby express its deepest sorrow upon the passing of Doris and extends its deepest sympathy to Doris's family. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be entered in the minutes of the Town Board of Callicoon. A motion to accept the memoriam.
Make that motion.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Did not know Doris that well. I know her family. I know people who worked here, worked with her, and spoke extremely high of Doris, so everyone.
I did a lot of work for Doris. She was the cleanest person in the world. Followed me around with a vacuum cleaner. You know where, and that's where she lives there. Her old house.
We'll also post this as notice in the Democrat.
Yes.
Next on our agenda is our water district in Youngsville. We also have regulations in place for the water users of the district. And what we've recently done since we adopted those resolutions, or those regulations, to make it a little easier for the users of the water district, we went to a quarterly billing. We purchased some new equipment. We have a new clerk. So we've had some good changes in our waterworks in the Youngsville hamlet. So what we have to do is I guess we have to accept the new regulations for the quarterly billing, which we did not do that before. The council members have had a chance to review, they've seen these before, but there are regulations for anyone that care to see them. There are hard copies of them anyone can look at if you care to, but I guess what we need is a motion to accept the revised regulations, and basically the only thing that's been revised is that we've gone to a quarterly billing as opposed to annually. So are there any questions on that from the board?
Pretty plain.
Pretty, right, okay, thanks, Howard. So we want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
All right, Howard has a motion, Scott has a second, that we adopt the new revised regulations, the quarterly billing for the Youngsville Water District. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Along the same lines in the Youngsville Water District, we're in need of a new building that houses our treatment plant. I don't know if any of you that use the Youngsville Water have ever been up there, but it's quite modest in saying that. We can appreciate that. It was a used building when it was moved there to house our water treatment plant, I don't know how many years ago. But it served its purpose and then some. So we looked at it. We actually had accepted a proposal to do some repairs. The contractor had not gotten to it yet, and I think we're just as well off that he had not, because it would have been probably money that could have been used to replace the building, which now we have deemed it necessary to replace this small building. So the councilmen have been there, code enforcement's been there. We've kind of got together, put our heads together with some basic plans. We are going to request some proposals, but we are deeming this an emergency repair because there are 125 users of that water district. Small as it is, it's pretty important. So we're going to give these basic plans out to some contractors. We'll request those proposals. Being we are deeming it an emergency repair, we will accept proposals, but we do not have to request sealed bids. I think the proposals are just as well, and we can do it in a more timely fashion. This is something that we will have to move on as quickly as we can before, I can't believe by today, but cold weather won't be that long before it's here. So I would like to ask the board for their permission that we do advertise for requests for proposals for the new construction of a building to house our water treatment plant. Any motion?
Yeah,
Or is there?
I'll make a motion.
We have it by Dave. Second?
Second.
Scott? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'd like to get with code enforcement again sometime so we can go through that. Okay?
Excuse me, Tom, you have a date when these proposals are going to be back? Bye.
Well, we better have them back by next meeting, but if before we could move on it as early as we can, I would like to see it quicker because we get into September. But I think that's a reasonable date.
Why don't we do a 10-day thing, because floor is collapsing in there at this point, and, you know,
We can
could
do it as
be
soon as you want.
Detrimental
It's
to
just
the.
if we're gonna go ahead with the I could poll the board. Once we get the proposals, we don't have to wait for the next
Just have
meeting.
well, you'll need a special meeting just to award any bid though, any proposal. But you can do that, you know, just to have a special meeting and you know, notice it as best you can. Especially if you have, you know, a safety issue and,
Yeah, why don't we contact a few contractors in the area and then,
You wanna
and give them
advertise?
10 days. No, we'll make phone calls and there's,
and then you can see if you have a need for a special meeting. If it's taken some time, you can put it on for the September meeting.
Okay, is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll we'll contact our local contractors, and see what interest we have. We talked about breaking the work up between, the concrete work as well as the rest of the construction. Okay, so again, I need to get with code enforcement then, and I'm surrounded by code enforcement officers to get some, again, basic. We don't need engineering plans to do this, but we need the plans so we can submit them to anybody that's.
Like the specs. And
Yeah.
just- yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then we'll hopefully have it back, and if we do that, then we'll just have a special meeting prior to the September meeting. It is important to do it, and if we can get it on these guys' calendars, I guess it's important as well. So everybody's okay with that, then is the motion still good? No, we need a new motion. We'll just go with the 10-day instead of waiting till September.
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah.
you all right with that?
What's that?
Is that okay? Okay,
So 10 days from tomorrow would be the 23rd.
yes.
Or 10 days after we contact the contract. Then we're gonna contact people tomorrow, then
Yeah?
we'll, okay?
Okay. All right, next on the agenda, we did receive this resolution. A question was asked prior to the agenda items regarding a resolution that was put forth by our county legislature to support casino gaming. There is copies of it here. It is on the website. Anybody's free to look at that. I'm not going to read it. I don't believe at this time the board is prepared to do anything with that. If they'd like to tell me differently, or if you'd like to table it and consider it, and give more time for some input.
I think that would be the best.
Okay, so with that, again, there's copies of it here that you're welcome to if you haven't seen it already. So I need a motion to table that.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
And Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 6, I don't believe it's on your agenda, but we received another resolution from, actually, Cornell. And we didn't get it till the end of the week, and I had given it to Janet had faxed it to Marvin to look over. I'm gonna read that. It's in support of the Cornell Local Road Program. This is a really good program that's been put on by Cornell since 1951. How many times have you attended it?
Yeah.
Every year?
Not every year, but a couple.
Okay, but we know, we've used it, many of our highway superintendents, they put on a annual superintendent conference, bridge conference each year, many different programs that has been made available to municipalities. Cornell, for whatever reason, wants to terminate this program. So we got a letter from the dean, not the dean, from the professor that has headed this program, Professor Lynn Irwin, asking for support. He's going to retire, but he feels that it's a very, as we do, very important program for our local municipalities. It's fully funded. They're not asking for any money. DOT has requested proposals for this, and since 1951, they've accepted the model from Cornell through Cooperative Extension. So this is a resolution in supporting this, so if you bear with me, it's short. I will read it, and I'll ask the board to decide on it. Town of Callicoon Town Board resolution supporting the Cornell LTAP. Whereas effective September 30, 2014, the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences at Cornell University has decided to terminate the local technical assistance program, LTAP, the outreach program of the Cornell Local Roads Program. And whereas since 1951, the Local Roads Program has been providing valuable technical assistance and training for local highway officials through cooperative extension. And whereas the LTAP meets an ongoing need to ensure continued effective and responsible maintenance of our local highways. And whereas Professor Lynn H. Irwin, head of the LTAP at Cornell University, has urged local municipalities to make a strong written expression of the municipality's desire for the LTAP to continue, and to appeal to the Dean of the Cornell College of Agriculture and Life Sciences to reverse her decision to terminate the program. And whereas it is in the best interest of the town of Callicoon to seek to keep LTAP in full force and effect. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Callicoon Town Board urges Catherine J. Boer, PhD, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Science at Cornell University, to reverse her decision and to not terminate the LTAP effective September 30, 2014. I know there are already, the DOT has already sent out requests for proposals for next year. So we're hoping with some assistance and support from all the municipalities throughout the state that they will reverse their decision. So the board have questions on that, or if not, we need a motion for the resolution.
Other than it would be ridiculous for them to drop this, I make a motion to
Support it.
support it, for sure.
All right.
I second it.
Second by Charlie. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you. Okay, just a reminder for our fall cleanup. It is September 14th through 16th, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
14, 15, 16.
14, 15, 16 September. Same rules apply. You gotta get your residence card here if you don't have it. And a reminder, it's Saturday the 14th from 9 to 12. Did we get confirmation?
I haven't gotten confirmation yet, but I will.
Okay, we're once again, along with Jeff Bank this year, are sponsoring a shred day. On just that one day alone, that Saturday, I believe it's 9 to noon. So if you have anything that needs to be shredded, anything you don't want somebody else to see, it was well used last few times. It really amazed me how much stuff that was brought. So that's what I have. The board have anything else?
Nope.
Nope. We're good? Okay, and we would open up for public comment. Wow. No public comment?
All right.
I'll make a motion.
I
We
second it.
do have Ms. Reed. She did put her hand up. I did speak with her prior to the meeting, and she's been coming in the last several meetings and putting on some facts that she's liked everybody, but I did ask her tonight, we are gonna limit you to 3 minutes. If you need more time, what I suggested is you contact the town clerk, and you're free to use the hall at the time that it's open, and then you can have all the time that you would like, but for public comment portion of our meeting, we are gonna limit it to 3 minutes. So thank you, and you have the floor.
Thank you. I've given you the references that I'm going to be talking about tonight. And the reason that I really don't want to do this in one session is I don't think it'd be done that way. These two papers came out last month. They're Cutting Edge Science, July 12th. They were published in Science Magazine. They are about earthquakes and how they relate to fracking operations. Fracking always causes earthquakes, but usually it's like magnitude 2. But frac waste injection can cause much higher earthquakes, and so that's the reason for concern about what to do with frac waste. And deep injection wells for frac waste are causing earthquakes in the state of Arkansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, and Virginia. The largest earthquake was a 5.6 in Oklahoma in 2011, and 14 homes were destroyed. Youngstown, Ohio banned the practice of injecting waste after a series of earthquakes in the winter of 2010 and 2012. This graph from the Ellsworth paper shows the staggering increase in earthquakes in the United States. This is a timeline from 1970 up to 2012, and you can see that there was a steady rate of 21 earthquakes per year for over 40 years. And starting here in 2010, the red line goes way up, the rate increased. There were 300 earthquakes in a 2-year period between 2010 and 2012. And they are being categorized. Some of them are definitely characterized with injection of frac waste into deep caverns. The Van Elders paper is the second paper. I don't want to show the date, it's complicated. but it tries to predict when a quake will occur. That's the holy grail of seismology. When will a quake occur? And they used some powerful 9 magnitude earthquakes in the world, in Chile, Japan, and Sumatra, who had triggering events here in Oklahoma, Texas, and Colorado at frac injection sites. They caused tremors to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until those 3 locations had quakes that were in the 4 to 5 range, which can be damaging. So the authors concluded that the remote triggering from worldwide large earthquakes can be, bring into a fault system locally in the United States enough triggering injections to actually cause a damaging earthquake here. So to finish up, 4 points. The industry and the regulatory agencies have long known that earthquakes can be induced by fluid injection. The licensing for injecting frac water waste are under the Safe Drinking Water Act, and determination of the stress level is not required. And frac waste doesn't have to be reported because the gas industry is exempt from reporting their actions.
Thank you. Right on the moment. 3 minutes. Anyone else have anything in public comment? Okay. Any motion?
Second.
Second. Thank you all for coming. And then we'll have a.
Who seconded?
Second.
Seconded?